The Sony A6700 is like the Sony A7 IV because now we have a dial for quick access to photo, video, and S&Q mode. But what settings will actually help you be more efficient when using this camera? I'm going to share with you 16 different settings that I use with the Sony A6700 to maximize your time shooting and less time playing in the menus, and even exposure dials. We got the photo settings, the video settings, the slow-mo settings, and even the quick settings for things like time lapses. And at the very end, I'll show you how I save even more time adapting and changing settings with a single button. Here we got our Sony A6700, but of course you can use this kind of setup with any other camera that will be releasing this kind of 2-dial system. First, let's familiarize ourselves with the dial and our settings in the menu, and then we can start changing things. This right here is the mode shooting dial to choose between photo, video, and S&Q mode. Then be aware that we have 3 custom settings on this exposure dial. Every time we change the photo mode to photo, video, or S&Q, we have 3 different custom settings in addition to the manual mode. So really we have 4 custom settings for 1 shooting mode. Now that we got our camera layout set, let me show you my custom settings for photo mode. For manual mode, I have it set up for outdoors. I have the shutter speed set up for 25/100th of a second, aperture set to f1.4 to f5.6, and ISO set to the lowest at 100. I often switch between using my Sigma 30mm f1.4 and my Sony 18-105 f4. So most of the time I am going back and forth with aperture and shutter speed to make sure that things are well exposed. But for indoors, for my custom mode number 1, I have it set up for a shutter speed of 2/50th of a second to get light into the sensor without too much motion blur. The aperture is set to the lowest value for the most light, often at f2.8 for zooms or f1.4 for primes. ISO set to auto, exposure compensation dial often set to 0 or +1. Since my ISO is set to auto, the camera will adjust to make sure it's exposed properly. I find myself overexposing by 1 stop to get it cleaner out of the camera image. For custom mode number 2, I have it set up for sports. My shutter speed is set to 4,000th of a second to get that freeze frame kind of shot and eliminate motion blur. Aperture is set to f4 to f5.6 for most potential sharpness and deeper depth of field. ISO set to auto, and exposure compensation dial set to -1 to 0. For custom mode number 3, I have it set up for creative style. I'm playing around with these creative style kind of profiles to get a similar experience to the simulations that one would have for Fujifilm. But we'll see, I'm still trying it out. My shutter speed starts at 1,000th of a second, aperture set to f2.8 to 5.6, ISO set to auto, and exposure compensation dial often set to -1 to 0. Now onto video mode. On manual mode, I have it set to 4K 24 with standard stabilization for no crop. I mostly use this when shooting on a tripod to get the widest shot I can. I also burn in my LUTs for this particular setting because I use it when shooting YouTube videos, and it helps me save time when editing. For custom mode number 1, I have log mode on. Codec is XAVC HS 4K, 30 megabytes per second, 420 10-bit. I have it set for 24 frames per second. Active stabilization is on because most of the shots on this mode is handheld, but even if they're not, I'm okay with that slight crop. In custom mode number 2, I prioritize slow motion with 4K 60 with active stabilization. Aperture set to at least f2.8, shutter speed locked onto 1/25th of a second for that 180-degree rule, ISO set to 2500 for low light situations, otherwise I'm using ISO of 800. But for even slower footage, my custom mode number 3 is set to 4K 120 with active stabilization. Other settings are practically the same. But if you want to save more time slowing down footage and even speeding it up, we got S&Q, or slow and quick mode. Now, just as the name implies, we can easily slow down or quicken our footage without having to even drop any of this footage in our video editing software. When we play back our footage, you'll see the final product in camera, unless you use interval shooting mode when using photo mode. But that's a video for another time. Everything captured in this mode for video does not have any audio. So if you know you'll add sound effects in post or won't need any sound at all, then by all means, use this mode. Alright, so when we switch our camera to S&Q mode, on manual we have 2 choices, S&Q and time-lapse. How we choose one of these settings dictates the rest of our custom buttons. So actually we have 4 custom modes for photo, 4 custom modes for video, then we have 4 custom modes for S&Q, and 4 custom modes for time-lapse, for a total of 16 custom settings. bonkers. For S&Q manual mode, I have it set to quick setting. The recording frame rate is set to 24p and frame rate of 1 frame per second to have a 24 times quick video. This will give you a hyperlapse effect. Just keep in mind that the settings like burning in LUTs and exposure settings will be the same as the video shooting mode settings in manual mode. For custom mode number 1, I have it set to quick setting as well, similar to manual, but in this case, the shutter speed is set to 1 second, so that it achieves a heavier motion blur effect because of the slow shutter speed. Whereas with manual mode, I set it to 125th of a second. For custom mode number 2, I have it set to slow motion. The recording frame rate is set to 24p and frame rate of 60 frames per second for 2.5 times slow motion. I will sometimes increase the shutter speed to nail my exposure and get less motion blur depending on the shot that I'm trying to get. Then for custom mode number 3, I have it set to 24p and 120 frames per second for 5 times slow motion. Same exposure principles apply as custom setting number 2 to prioritize less motion blur, but of course, set it to your taste. Now that we've set our S&Q settings, let's go back to manual mode and select time-lapse to set up our time-lapse settings. Unlike our slow and quick mode, we can be more selective about the interval of our shots for our time lapses. Just keep in mind that although we are shooting time lapses on this mode, the end file will be a video, not a series of photos. To do that, you need to do interval shooting in photo mode. First up, we have our recording frame rate set to 24p and interval time of 1 second. The exposure settings will be the same as manual mode for video and S&Q. For custom mode number 1, for time lapses, I have the same settings except this time I'm shooting S-Log3 and I have a slow shutter speed of 1/50th of a second. So do change things like white balance as well. For custom mode number 2, for time lapses, the interval time is 3 seconds and the shutter speed can also be set to your taste. For custom mode number 3, for time lapses, the interval time is 5 seconds. If I really want to capture every single second of change for time lapses, like for sunrises, sure, I'll capture every second. But if it's for other things like filling a room full of people, perhaps I'll use every 3 to 5 seconds, if not longer. Of course, these are just preset programs that I have, but when I'm on the job, I adjust them ever so slightly. For indoor photos and videos, I maintain lower apertures. For outdoor photos and videos, I may end up cranking my shutter speed if I'm not using an ND filter. So when I need to change my settings on the fly, by using a single button, I can go ahead and set a new custom setting on top of the pre-existing one. The button that I use is the dedicated record button. Since I prefer to record with a shutter, I reprogrammed this to memory save. But of course you can set this button to whatever button that you like on this camera. The best camera is the camera that you master, and the camera that can easily adapt to the situation as well as you do. These are only a few settings that I programmed for this camera, but to maximize the most of it, I have other settings that I put over here.